chance.
What's your name?
My name is Andrei, and I'm an international student from Russia.
Okay.
Um,
And what's like a stereotype that you've seen towards yourself or Russian
Yeah.
people in general?
the major stereotype I always hear is that whenever I say I'm from Russia, people assume that I'm drinking a lot of vodka, and they're always offering me vodka, but actually I'm like, from all of the alcohol, I'm not a big fan of vodka and I actually hate it.
Oh.
So, yeah, that's basically it.
And are there any other stereotypes that you think of, or any way that would that you think is negative, having a negative impact on Russians or the image of Russians?
Yes. Well, people always assume that we are, like, I don't know, like, personality speaking, we're really closed and not really open about ourselves, but and sometimes it actually affects the communication, but actually it's also not true. And yeah, Russian people are always very open and communicative and friendly and everything, so yeah.
What does it tell you? Like, if you don't have an iPhone, what does that mean?
I mean, for some people, it's like you don't have an iPhone, you don't have money, but it's not that for me. I mean, it doesn't make sense. I mean, you cannot let other people like to think about you and your personality and whatever because of your mobile phone. It means nothing.
That's true.
More things.
That's true. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Explain to you what's an stereotype bias.
That the stereotypes are great because we have people from all around the world. So people from all different countries, they become friends, and I think that's great. And not just like friendship with the people from your country.
So basically, you say that students from IE uses like the positive stereotypes from other nations to do friends. So you
Because mostly here in Spain, like mostly everyone thinks that it's better, like they don't get friends with others from not being like the Spanish,
Okay.
because maybe they think that they're like from other cultures or they're not gonna speak the same as that they're naive. I find that people kind of try to avoid it.
yeah. Tell us your story.
Where are you from?
Hi, I'm Tots and I'm from South Africa. So a stereotype that I usually encounter is that people in general assume that black culture is American black people culture. So what they think about when they think about a black person, regardless of where you're from, they assume that you like rap music and that you listen to hip hop or know who 50 Cent or love Jay-Z or Kanye and can talk about all these things. Or the fact that you like chicken wings and like they ask you what kind of black person are you if you're vegetarian, like all black people eat chicken, for example. And this can be annoying because I for one am vegetarian, and secondly, like I know surprisingly more white people that listen to rap music than black people who are South African, so this stereotype needs to be broken. And yeah.
So where are you from?
I'm from Spain, Madrid.
And what is a stereotype that you have felt that people have towards you or towards people from Madrid or Spaniards or something?
Yeah. Generally, when I go abroad, anywhere you want, mainly I've had this experience in the US. Right the moment when you say, when I say I'm Spanish, well, basically I have the kind of Spanish look. They think of me as a, more like this kind of salsa dancer kind of guy, like how could I explain it easier? I don't know, just this guy, that speaks, that likes to speak, and I mean, I don't really know how to say it, but I know I imagine myself with dancing. They imagine myself dancing the sevillanas and with the caracas on my hands and stuff. And yeah,
it's not true. It's quite annoying, right?
No, absolutely, yeah, it is annoying. I mean, you get used to it, but indeed it is, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Do you?
Video gaming?
Oh yeah, I was actually just talking before with her about it. Yeah.
What about video gaming?
Well, basically,
Do you play LOL?
I play World of Warcraft. Basically, you know, in that kind of industry, such as like any
Sure,
other
could you
industry,
speak a bit louder?
like in that industry, such as any other industries, you mainly get recognized by your look, and you see the usual look. It is kind of a stereotype that is the typical big fat guy with a beard, you know, that doesn't take too much care of himself, and you have to wear like a T-shirt of this video game and stuff. And because I don't, I wear my normal shirts or whatever when I go to conventions or whatever. People probably they don't bother speaking to you because they think that you don't know about the subject in place. So that's basically it. And it does bother, you know, not to be able to speak with so many people as you wanted about something you like.
So like when you say that you play video games, they get an image in their head like of this a certain look that video gamers have, and this might not be true to you.
Definitely, yeah. Right.
Thank you.
Sorry.
So where are you from?
I'm from Spain. From Madrid. Yeah.
And can you tell us about like one stereotype people have had against you, you've experienced, or against Spaniards?
Okay, so one stereotype people from other countries have about the Spaniards is that they think we're lazy, but it's not really true. And maybe that we don't arrive on time. We always are late. We have many meetings here with people from outside, and we are always the one that late arrive.
It's a campaign we're running, Madroño. We're focusing on implicit and explicit stereotypes that people face. So where are you from?
I'm from Madrid.
And what's a stereotype that you feel that people have maybe against Spaniards or people from Madrid, or that you've experienced yourself or seen towards others?
Yeah, maybe a stereotype is bullfighting. They like...
The bullfighting?
Yeah. When you go out of Spain and you say you're Spanish, the first thing they start to talk about is bullfights, and if you like them, if you're not, how do you feel about them? So that would be my stereotype.
Thank you. How are you? Where are you from?
From here, from Madrid.
From Madrid. So tell me one stereotype you think people have against Spaniards or people from Madrid, or maybe that you've experienced personally.
I don't think they really have it against, but it is true that here they say that people in Spain in general, not only in Madrid, they're very open and welcoming and friendly, and they talk to everyone. And I think that's true. I think it's completely true wherever you go. And I think that I might get some people uncomfortable in some other places when they get to know a Spaniard and they're like super close and maybe even touchy and too talkative. I think it's a stereotype, but it's true. I don't think it's bad, but it exists.
You think that the stereotype is the Spaniards are very open?
Yes, very open, very friendly, very looking forward to interact with other people.
But even sometimes positive stereotypes can have bad effects in the sense that if then there's a Spaniard who's not very open or doesn't like to talk very much, then maybe they...
And they're expecting that person to be like that and they're not, maybe I guess it can be a bad stereotype as well. Because you're expecting us to be friendlier than some people might be. That's true.
So, thank you.
Where are you guys from?
They come together and then you have
Egypt/Spain.
months together.
Okay, so how have you been affected by stereotypes, or what stereotypes are there about you?
Women. Okay. I think that's one that affects both of us. So how? Like the way we drive, how we have to be inferior with everything we do, how we have to be the ones clearing up the table after we've had a dinner, etc.
Especially in Spain, women are like
And how do you think this has like a bad effect, or it can have a negative effect?
It's not bad, just discriminatory. We're the same.
But for example, if people feel that women don't know how to drive, right? And then maybe if they see a cab with a female driver, maybe they don't want to go in that cab, for example. It could happen. Maybe it's explicit or implicit. So sometimes these stereotypes, they seem harmless, but they can actually have real harmful effects.
Obviously, when you ask for, when you're positioning for a job at a a company and you don't get it because maybe they prefer men working as finance, in the finance sector or in the mathematics, physics sector, engineering. But that's just the way it is. I think it's evolving in the right manner. Maybe not fast enough, but soon enough.
All right, thank you. Do check out our Facebook page if you haven't already. We have a very good Dr. Riddle video which touches on this as well.
Okay, cool. Perfect. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Where are you from, and what is a stereotype you have experienced or do you think people have?
Okay, I'm doing the corporate communication masters and I'm from Tanzania, it's in East Africa. The stereotype is to think like Africa is one country, like we are all coming from one place, so oh yeah, from Africa, so you know, like that. And I really wish people can know like Africa has more than 50 countries and we are so different. Like there's a lot of diversity just like here in Europe, like there's Germany, there's, you know, Spanish and stuff like that. So Africa is just one country. That's a typical stereotype that I've experienced.
Thank you. Do you want an ice cream? Is there anything more you want to say about stereotypes you felt? No? Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your time. See you. Hello.
Where are you from?
Here, Madrid, Spain.
And could you share maybe a stereotype you think people have against people from Madrid or from Spain, or even better, one that you maybe have experienced yourself or seen?
Well, should I look at the camera?
Yeah, sure. Speak as loud as you can.
I mean, you can tell, kind of, not now, but usually darker skin, curly hair. So usually I get patted down at airports, especially when I go to the US. That's kind of annoying.
So where are you from?
I'm from Spain.
Spain. And what do you think is the stereotype people have against Spaniards, or maybe that you have experienced yourself or seen towards others?
I think that people like believe that Spaniards, we are like lazy, you know, that we like siestas and partying all the time, which may be true. Yeah. and that we also are eating all the time. I think that people also believe that. And I don't know, that we're also like super friendly. That's a really nice stereotype. And you know, like, yeah, that we are open-minded and chilling. It's nice to be Spaniard.
All right, but also sometimes even good stereotypes can have bad effects. So if you say, for example, that Spaniards are very outgoing, right? For example, and then you have someone who from Spain who's not, then maybe they don't feel, you know, that they don't fit this definition of Spaniard, right? And they don't feel that this is truth to them.
Yeah, that may be true. Like, well, actually, like when you label people, then you're missing out a very large part of the population. Like, be it like when you talk about Spaniards, or when you talk about women, or when you talk about anything. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's like a complicated issue.
It's good. Thank you very much.
Between Spanish people, like stereotypes we have against, you know, you're from Madrid?
No, I'm from Catalonia.
Oh, Catalonia. So do you have any stereotypes, you know, that you think people from Catalonia always receive?
Yeah, definitely. Like they say that we are like super scrunchy, like people that we don't waste like a single euro. And in my case, like that's actually super true. Like if I can save any penny, I mean, I will save it.
And in Spanish, agarraos.
Yeah, it's like exactly. And like it's also said that we, the Catalans, are like also more hard workers than the rest of the Spaniards. So I don't think like that's true.
Yeah.
Like, just...
What about you?
What about me?
Where are you from?
I'm from Madrid too.
Where are you from, sorry?
From Madrid.
From
What are the
Madrid.
stereotypes they have against us people from Madrid?
Well, I basically met someone yesterday, and he was all the time telling me that we, people from Madrid, are all the time drinking beers and all the time, all the night partying, and there's no day that we are out of our house. So it's basically that. I don't know if that's true, because I'm not all the time partying, but that's our stereotype.
Hello?
Where are you from?
I'm from Ukraine.
From Ukraine, okay. So tell me, what's a stereotype or something?
So the main stereotype, I think, of all people from Eastern Europe tackle this stereotype. When somebody says that he's from Ukraine, Belarus, or for example Serbia, most of the people, and unfortunately most of US citizens, think that it's all Russia.
Yeah.
And like people are totally the same, they have totally the same culture, the same language, but it's not true. We have different languages, we have different cultures, even like people behave a bit different. So yeah, that's the stereotype which I really tackled in my life several times, and I hope it will be kind of solved in the future.
So like, for example, like people, they just assume you're Russian, right?
Yeah, because I'm telling I'm Ukrainian, and they're like, oh, Ukraine, maybe it's some part of Russia, so you're Russian, and yeah.
Anything else? Any other stereotypes or things that you think people have?
One more stereotype is that some people think that if you're not from Europe or US, you don't have like proper education, and really it's not true. Because we have really, for example, in my bachelor, I studied in St. Petersburg in Russia, and we had very strong like theoretical base with very strong math, very strong econometrics, statistics, and I'm sure that my knowledge is more or less the same level as my peers that graduated from top business school of Europe. So yeah, these are our main stereotypes. Thank
Спасибо большое.
Спасибо.
What's your name?
I'm Leopoldo.
And where are you from?
I'm from Italy, Milan.
All right. So, is there any stereotype you've encountered about being from Italy, or something else about you that people assume?
Stereotype, pizza, pasta.
So, where are you from?
Houston.
And what do you think are some stereotypes that you've experienced yourself, or that people have against like Americans, or maybe specifically inside America towards people from Houston or Texas?
Okay, so under the current administration, as you know, Mexicans are getting a lot of heat. I'm Mexican American, and I don't understand why like people now have like a safe space to talk about racism and stereotypes in a way that they didn't before, I think. Like, I think racism has always been here, but I think the platform is now here to like speak openly like about these racist ideas. So.
Where are you from?
I'm from India.
From India, okay. And what do you feel like is a stereotype people have against Indians, or maybe something you've experienced yourself?
All right, it's the head bob stereotype though. All right, is that good enough?
Yeah, and anything else that you want? I mean, anything or something you know that's maybe discriminating, or people think are so.
Yeah, maybe related to the accent. I don't have the accent, but people see that you have the accent. So.
And when you don't have the accent, do people like make comments like, "Oh, you speak English very well," or something like that?
No, they just kind of.
Yeah.
Just kind of don't. Just stop it. Actually, they don't do it anymore.
Okay. Where are you from?
Hi, I'm from the United States, Spain, and Dominican Republic. So the stereotype for U.S. people is that we're dumb and we don't care about the rest of the world. And for Spaniards is that we love to have fun and take siestas. And for Dominicans is that all we know how to do is play baseball and dance. Thank you.
Where are you from?
My name is Liz. I'm from Canada.
So what's a stereotype you think people have against Canadians, or even better, one you've experienced personally?
Apparently we say sorry a lot, like for everything. We also really like maple syrup.
And anything else? Any examples maybe you've experienced in your life, or you've seen, oh, people, they thought this of me, but it's not true necessarily, or?
I don't know, taking a polar bear to work.
Okay, where are you from?
From Venezuela.
From Venezuela. And what do you think is a stereotype people have about Venezuela, or something you have witnessed yourself? Because, for example, right now Venezuela is a lot in the news, right?
Yeah,
do you think people have stereotypes based on what they see in the media?
I think people, not so much for the media, but people outside Venezuelans or Venezuelans emigrate. They think that the Venezuelans are the rich people who buy all the expensive apartments in any city, like in Madrid, in Bogota. So they're usually known for that. It's, oh, you're the guys who live in fancy apartments outside, which is not true. I wish, but it's not true.
All right. Where are you from?
I'm from Holland.
From Holland. And what's a stereotype you have experienced, or you think people have of people from Holland?
So when I'm in Belgium and I say I'm from Holland, they often say that Dutch people are cheeseheads.
Cheeseheads? What do you mean?
That they, in Dutch you say kaaskoppen. In Dutch you say it's kaaskoppen, but yeah, it's the literate translation, cheeseheads. I don't know how to explain it further, but
no, but like it means like you're like
just that you're
because the Dutch people always eat cheese apparently, so they call them the cheeseheads.
Any other examples you can think of? Or where? Yes, you may. Where are you from?
I'm half Russian and
No,
half
just
English.
say one country.
Shut up!
What are you doing?
Sorry.
Half Russian and half what?
English.
Half Russian, half English. And what's a stereotype you think people have about you or one of those two countries?
The blondes are dumb.
The what?
The blondes are stupid.
That blondes are stupid.
Yes.
Okay.
From Canada, originally from Venezuela.
And what do you think is a stereotype people could have personally against you, or maybe from one of those countries?
Oh God, that definitely I'm a crazy Latina. Anytime they talk to me, they're like, "Oh, you're just Latina, so you're just one of a crazy person," which is not 100% true. There is some truth to that, but not 100%.
Anything else, or any more experiences you had where you felt?
Also, in Canada, we don't live in igloos. So I get asked a lot that if we live in igloos. It is cold, but I have a warm home. That's normal. So.
What about you guys?
No, I'm 100% Spanish, so no stereotypes.
Never.
Well, I don't go always with my traje gitana. I don't play with bulls and things like that.
So, for example, you think people have a stereotype that when you go out and say you're from Spain, that they think
always
of bullfighting.
Dance, sevillanas, and I was like, kind of. I don't know if I this or not, but well.
What about you?
I am from Ukraine.
From Ukraine.
Yeah.
So, what stereotypes do you think people have, or
That we drink a lot, which is not always true.
And we've had some other Ukrainians here as well, and they've told us that often people confuse or don't understand the difference between like Russians or Ukrainians.
That's
or they say,
true. That's true too. But but I think that's more historical.
yeah. Okay, thank you.
And we speak Ukrainian. Ukrainian is the official. And then where did you?
Yeah.
I'm from Brazil.
From Brazil. So tell us, what are some stereotypes people maybe have against Brazilians, or something you've experienced yourself? I know that right now Brazil is a lot in the news with a lot of protests and corruptions and stuff like that. Do you feel like that's people maybe build stereotypes based on that, or like?
Well, on corruption, I think more generally, maybe I haven't experienced like with a specific that point, but I think usually like when like the country has like this powerful image, it's like kind of hard for people to go, especially abroad, and have like this bad stereotype that maybe like they're not trustable. But what I've personally experienced, I think one of the biggest things, like maybe actually when I arrived here in Spain, I've heard people like from IE saying that I was like too tan, that I shouldn't go to certain types of cities and stuff like that, and other people assuming that I directly speak like Spanish, and even though in Brazil like we speak Portuguese, and people like just go straight to Spanish, and how come you don't speak Portuguese? As well, I've had like people asking if I have like living in general, if I like monkeys as pets. I think that's like general stereotype, maybe some kind of have in that.
So you're from Mexico, and tell us again, sorry, about the stereotypes that you feel people have, good or bad.
Well, when I say I'm Mexican, people give me the look like, are you really Mexican? Just because I don't have darker skin or curly hair or darker eyes, and they say it as a compliment. Like, oh, but you don't look Mexican. So that's not cool at all. Just Mexican stereotypes, or
It can be anything else, be against women or something you've seen.
well,
Or
not
something with
narco traffic.
You mentioned the United States before.
Yes, the United States, when we're about to enter from the US to Mexico, they always give us they give to me and to my family like as visitors, because we don't look Mexican. Also like the narco traffic stereotypes, like if you are involved in narco traffic, if you have seen that, how are you traveling to Mexico, it's such a dangerous state. Questions like that nothing to do with it. And I think that the feminist stereotypes, like people assume that you cannot be a feminist or you cannot have like liberal ideas if you come from a sexist country, and they tend to classify the Latin culture with sexist stereotypes, so that's uncool.
Thank you.